Welcome to the EBIS training video management reports. Firstly, let's check if you can log on to EBIS. EBIS should always be run from Google Chrome to ensure smooth functionality. Attempting to use EBIS on other web browsers such as Internet Explorer or Firefox may cause a loss of functionality or require additional steps not included in the guides. You should always ensure that pop-ups are enabled for the EBIS site. To enable pop-ups in Google Chrome, click the Chrome menu on the browser toolbar. Select Settings and scroll down and click Advanced. In the Privacy and Security section, click Site Settings. Click Pop-ups and in the Allow section, click Add. Copy and paste the EBIS web address into the box. And now pop-ups are enabled for the EBIS site. Access EBIS using the below address on Google Chrome. The link can also be found on many of the EBIS PDF user guides. If you do not have a login details, please contact your business support manager who can arrange an account to be set up for you. If you have login details but cannot access EBIS, please contact EBIS support on ebis.support@independentvetcare.co.uk. Log in using your personal EBIS credentials. Using the web address previously provided, enter in your username and your password and log into EBIS. If you need to view a report, for example your practice's profit and loss report, you can download your own by using the EDR Management Reports function in EBIS. A profit and loss report downloaded from EBIS should enable you to drill down into your transactions behind the balances on the face of your practice's profit and loss. Click on Reports and Inquiries, and then EDR Management Reports. Choose the appropriate company for your practice. This will be IVC Company 1 unless your practice hasn't hived up yet. Hiving up is the process of closing the original company and coming under the IVC Company umbrella. If this hasn't happened for your practice yet, you'll need to select your sub-company beneath the IVC Company 1. Always ensure the report type selected is Management Reports. Then, you need to select which report you would like to download. There are various reports you can download: a profit and loss report, a cost report, and a payroll report. All of the reports can be downloaded in a month-to-date and year-to-date format. Take a look at the cost report and the payroll reports in your own time if you wish, but you can get all the information you need from the profit and loss, and this is a report I'm going to show you how to generate. Lastly, you need to select the year and the period you want to generate the report for. EBIS runs on IVC's financial year and not a calendar year. In a calendar year, January is month 1 and December is month 12. In IVC's financial year, October is period 1 and September is period 12. The first 3 months of IVC's financial year is always in the previous calendar year, but for EBIS they all fall under the same financial year. If you are unsure what financial period you need, add 3 to the calendar month, with 12 being the maximum, and this should get you to your financial period. If you select a year-to-date profit and loss, and you enter the financial year as 2019, and then enter period 6, the report you would generate would give you the financial position of your practice from period 1, October, to period 6, March. If you selected a month-to-date profit and loss and entered period 6, this will just give you March results in isolation. Once you've entered all this information, don't worry about the other boxes, just click Submit. then click OK. The report will now be sent to you via an email. This may take a couple of minutes. The email should come from ebis@independentvetcare.co.uk and it should have your report attached. Double click on the report and click yes as file and format extension does not match. Don't be alarmed, this is just where EBIS uses an older version of Excel. Always enable content as this allows some macros to be run in the background. This is the EBIS profit and loss. The menu tab is your brand name. Then you should have a brand tab. If you're a multi-site group, this will be all your sites consolidated into one profit and loss. Then next door to that, you'll have your individual sites profit and loss. Multi-site groups, please note, acquisition budgets are done at a group level and IVC budgets are done at individual site level. Therefore, if you are on an acquisition budget, until you move on to an IVC budget, you will see a budget in your brand tab a budget in what we would deem to be the parent site, and there would be no budget against your other sites until you move on to an IVC budget. Until you move on to an IVC budget, any drilling down will be done via the profit and loss report downloaded out of EBIS on your brand tab. If you're on an IVC budget, you can drill down via your individual site tabs. In this example, we can drill down on the individual site tabs. Please notice the little plus signs on the left-hand side of the profit and loss. This is the smart link needed to drill down. If you don't have this, please contact IT support on support@independentvetcare.co.uk. Expand the profit and loss category you wish to drill down into. If you double click on the number and the description, it will prompt you to log into EBIS again. Please ensure you're not double clicking on the actual values within the profit and loss. Enter your EBIS username and password and log into EBIS. You'll be taken through to an Accounts tab within EBIS, which will show you the opening balance, the period value, and the closing balance for that expense code over the period in which you generated the profit and loss over. Click on the Transactions tab. Here, you will see all the transactions that make up that balance for that expense code within your profit and loss for the period in question. From left to right, you will see a document number, a document date, a period, a cost center description, an expense code description, a value, a source reference, a description, and an account number. You can tell the transaction type by looking at the document number. PLINV stands for Purchase Ledger Invoice. If the document number said PLCN, this would stand for Purchase Ledger Credit Note. A GLJR and a GLJ are a General Ledger Journal. A GL Auto is an automatic system accrual, and a GL Pre or GLPP is a General Ledger prepayment. The transactions you'll be interested in is invoices and credit notes. However, it is good to have an idea of the other transaction types so you're not alarmed when you're drilling down. The other transaction types that you're going to see the most are accounting adjustments. These are adjustments that your management accountant does each month to ensure all the costs are in the correct periods and that we don't see huge peaks and troughs in your profit and loss reporting. The two most common is something called a prepayment and something called an accrual. A prepayment is a payment in advance. For example, imagine we received a heat and light invoice for £1,500. On that invoice, it stated it related to the period of October, November, and December. In this example, let's say we were in October. We don't want to take the whole £1,500 in October because actually £1,000 of that cost relates to 2 months in the future. So what your management accountant will do is reverse out the cost that doesn't relate to the month in question, keep in the cost that does, and each month after, journal in the cost that does relate to that month. So in totality, it matches back to the invoice. It just ensures that we're spreading the costs over the correct months and that we don't see massive peaks and troughs in your financial performance. Another common transaction type is a system automatic accrual. Here, for example, say you didn't have enough time to authorise all the invoices within your authorisation queue before the month end. The system can see that you have an invoice in there that relates to October. In this example, let's say we're in October, the system wants to put in a placeholder cost for that amount to ensure that the cost is entered in the correct month. At the beginning of November, you go in and authorise the invoice. The system will automatically back out the placeholder costs, making the net amount in the month that you didn't want the cost in 0, but keeping the placeholder cost in the month we did want the cost in. If you decide to reject the invoice, the system will automatically reverse the auto accrual. Accruals can also be done manually via your management accountant if costs are expected but we haven't received the invoice yet. If you see something that doesn't look right, please contact your management accountant and they should be able to explain the postings for you. To check the status of an invoice or a credit note, highlight the line you would like to view. Click on the Source button. Here you can see the status of the invoice. If blank, the invoice hasn't been paid yet. You can see who's approved the invoice and on what date. You can click the Matching tab. And this will show you when and how the invoice was paid. If you click on Image, you can view the invoice or credit note again. To change your search criteria, you do not need to go back to the profit and loss report you generated. You can just click on the binoculars to the right-hand side of the screen. Here you can change your company, pre-hive up information in your subsidiary and post-hive up information in company 1. You can change the cost code by clicking on the blue writing, so you can look at multiple sites at any one time. You can also change the expense code. Here you can change what code you are looking at and look at multiple codes at any one time. Looking at multiple codes is useful for when you're looking at things like salaries, as transactions are posted across multiple codes. You can also change the years and the periods for which you're searching across. Before clicking OK on your new search, always check there's no space in the budget model. If there is a space, EBIS won't generate a new search. Thank you for your time. Any issues with management reports, please refer to the user guides, your business support manager and/or your management accountant. For technical queries with EBIS, please contact EBIS support on ebis.support@independentvetcare.co.uk. And if you have any SmartLink issues, please contact IT support at independentvetcare.co.uk.